Well, you guys, we finished the Trap and Tone Challenge with LASHAE for the month of October. And I think it was great. It was challenging. It was amazing. We are so happy with the results, and we hope that, other people will join in for the next challenge and just try it out and see how you feel. So there is another challenge happening in November, okay? So go to the site, ifyoucanmove.com. The link is down below in my description box, and sign up for the challenge. And don't forget about TLC, NutriBurst, and all of the amazing products that they have at TLC. The link is down below to where you can purchase some of those products. I've even gotten my husband into the NutriBurst. I've gotten my husband into the tea, actually, especially if he isn't feeling that great. Sometimes he might have a little stomach issue. He drinks that tea and he feels great like an hour later. So, just saying. Don't listen to me though. All right, but yeah, y'all, just wanted to give y'all an update before we started this video, but yay, we finished. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I'm back for another one, y'all. This is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. A lot of y'all asked, and I actually watched it last night, and I thought it was entertaining enough. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it, but I do want to give y'all my opinion on what I feel about the cast, okay? So let's go ahead and just go through some of the notes that I made. So there's Jen. Jen is a Hawaiian lady who married a football coach. She was raised Mormon, but now she has transitioned to being Muslim because her husband is Muslim, and she tried to get him to become Mormon, but he said, oh no, sweetheart, they didn't start accepting black people until the 70s. And she says, I can't be in a religion that, doesn't fully accept my husband or my kids, because her kids show up in the world as black. And a lot of people don't know what she is because she's a Hawaiian lady who's been bleaching her skin, obviously, and I'm disgusted. I also don't like the fact that she's done so much work to her face, because I feel like the pictures we saw of her when she was younger, she was a very pretty woman. And I think now she looks like someone has just been poking all of her main areas with Botox until they've gotten large in size. And then she's really pale, so we can't place what we're looking at, and it's confusing because it's not like a regular white lady white. It's I bleach my skin and I look ashy kind of white. Yeah, I like her. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Jen so far, but I don't like what that represents. I don't like that depiction at all. I'm sorry, but I'm just not a fan. Heather is going to be a fan favorite because she doesn't fit into the Mormon box. I've already kind of realized that a lot of people like her. What I noticed about her is that she talked about how her family were some of the first pilgrims. And what that sounds like to me is colonizer. Okay. Then she talks about how she owns a med spa, which explains the Botoxness of it all. I don't know why they think that looks good. It really doesn't. I feel like there's such a fine line between that shit looking good and you doing way too much, and they have all crossed it. Jen and Heather. But either way, she's divorced from a billionaire who was also really big in the Mormon religion in the church. And this is when I realized Andrea from Love After Lockup views Mormonism as a form of wealth. Like she sees it as a place that she can acquire wealth. And that may not necessarily work for everybody that's in this church, but the wealthy people that are in that church are all friends with each other and are all friends with other wealthy people. So for instance, I break up with my billionaire husband and I start a med spa. Okay, now all of my rich friends and family members and people that I know are gonna come and support my business. And it's the same thing for the other chick with her luxury boutique and all of that. They basically have built-in infrastructure, something that I guess white people don't realize that they have, because they always talking about, oh, I started from nothing. It's like, well, if a check came from one of your family members, it ain't necessarily starting from nothing, but I understand what you mean. However, I feel like what I'm seeing is this church gives all of them a leg up as far as the financials. Okay, at least that's what it looks like to me. But she's divorced and she likes black men and hip hop music, and she likes gay, homosexuals and all of that. And I was just kind of like, so you fetishize black men in hip hop and you enjoy the cackle of a good Judy. Am I to be clear there? Okay. And see, all of that comes off as cool and, oh, she just kind of goes with the flow and she's not into this Mormon box that they try to put everybody in. But they do strive for perfection. Mormons actually believe that you can be perfect, which is ridiculous. But I don't even want to get into that. But I just will say that even though other people like her and I might like her temperament, I don't know if I necessarily like her because of all of the little things I've pinpointed. And I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I hear Mormon, racist. Like that's what comes into my mind automatically. So I'm gonna have to warm up to some of these white women. I'm sorry. So Meredith, okay? Meredith is a Jewish lady from Chicago. She has a gay son. He does her makeup every day. She owns a celebrity boutique, and she basically dresses Rihanna and Charlize Theron and a whole bunch of other famous people, which is great. I liked her vibe. She seems cool when she's with her son and everything, but you can tell she's going to be pretentious. Her and Heather went to school together, and she's going to pretend like she doesn't know Heather for the whole damn show. So, yeah, that's probably going to rub me wrong. Lisa, the Mormon from New York, owns a luxury marketing company and also owns a few tequila companies and is working on a vodka company. And you're not supposed to drink in the Mormon religion. And she says, well, what matters is what I think, not what everybody else thinks in the Mormon religion, I guess. And I'm just kind of like, oh, that's cute. My husband was like, oh, so it's like Christianity. Well, you don't really have to follow the rules per se. I was just like, basically. And then we see her and her son and her husband ride around in the car going to several different fast food restaurants. And it did kind of, because she doesn't cook, it did kind of seem like something that made her more down to earth. But in essence, it's stupid because you have the money to hire somebody to cook. So explain to me why somebody doesn't come to your house every day at a certain time to cook meals for you and your family instead of y'all, going to several different fast food joints to, feed your son terrible food, processed food, unnatural, hormone infused food. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm probably going to go to Cane's as soon as I finish doing this video, but that's not the point. The point is, get together, okay? Get a chef. You're too rich for this shit. Whitney. Okay, so I know I'm not supposed to because, she's a harlot, but I like Whitney. Whitney's vibe is carefree and not so heavy, and I love that she described her life as being so full. When somebody says something like that, I'm like, do tell, okay? I love somebody that's got a full life, you know what I'm saying? Because that means they don't have any room to hate on you, all right? Because they're happy in their shit. I love people like that, okay? So we see Whitney renewing her vows with her husband, who is 18 years older than her. They met because they used to work together. They had an affair because they were both married. So once that came out, they were excommunicated from the Mormon church, and now they've been married for 10 years. And they also have, I think, like 2 or 3 kids together on top of the kids from the previous marriages. I believe he had kids from the previous marriage. But, people weren't really down with her and him after what they did. But they look so happy, like they don't give a shit. Give a shit whether you like me or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy. Me and my man, we're happy, and that's all that matters. It really is all that matters, even though that's shitty. I mean, sometimes you marry the wrong people. Sometimes you be with the wrong people and then the right person come up and you do some terrible shit. You hurt people in the process. But I feel like even when you break up with people the right way, they still be hurt sometimes. So, hey, however it worked out for her, I like her. Jen is throwing Meredith's birthday party. Child, I don't know why Meredith allowed Jen to throw her a party, because the party was about Jen. It didn't have anything to do with Meredith, except for the fact that it was Meredith's list of people that she wanted at the party. But it was over the top. Jen throws over the top parties. That's what she's into. And that's great. But don't throw somebody else a birthday party and then make it all about you. Like, that's hella selfish. That definitely is going to show up in the way, she treats her friends. We're going to see that in the upcoming episodes if I stick around. Lisa and Meredith are really close. They also look a lot alike. So they meet up and Jen joins them and they talk about Heather and how Heather says that she knows Meredith. They went to college together. They've known each other for 20 plus years. And Meredith says, I don't know her. I don't recall. I was just like, oh, here we go. I swear Mariah show y'all how to do something one time and y'all just can't let it go. Whitney and Mary are friends, you guys. Like I said, I like Whitney Mary, not so much. And I felt like I wasn't going to like Mary after I've seen her do interviews and stuff. But Mary is always dressed to the nines because she's obviously someone who values labels and thinks that it makes her important in order to wear them. Because I feel like a lot of these other women were probably wearing labels, but you didn't hear them name them 100 times the way she did. Child, New Money. That's how she acts. She act like New Money. Mary is one of the main reasons why I decided to even talk about this show, or watch it for that matter. So Mary says it was in her grandmother's will for them to keep this money in the family, and one of the grandchildren, one of the granddaughters, would marry her husband when she passed away. So that's what Mary did. Mary, a year after her grandmother passed away, married her step-grandfather. So they're not biologically related, of course, but it's still kind of messed up to regular people. Like, Jen was like, I don't care if he's biologically related to you or not. That's some crazy shit. And I was like, I agree. And she said it in the interview. She was like, it is kind of crazy. It is crazy. And I also don't understand, why did they need to get married in order to keep the money in the family? Like, isn't there another way to do that? You know what I'm saying? Can't we just get into business with one another, or put names on some deeds or some shit like that, or put some name in some stock options? Child, I don't know. But why do we need to get married also you could look after him? He's an adult. He's a grown-ass man. He needed one of your granddaughters to look out for him, child? I guess. I just kind of feel like it's weird, and you're not going to convince me that it's not weird. Mary is also the first lady of a Pentecostal church that she inherited from her grandmother as well, okay? Mary says that she and Jen used to be very cool, and we see them meeting up at Jen's house, and, you know, Jen telling her to try on clothes in her closet, just having a girl's time, having a good time. Well, one day, Jen is coming from visiting her aunt in the hospital, and Mary says, oh, you know, you smell like a hospital, or it smells like a hospital. Basically like saying, oh my God, you smell so bad, you smell like a hospital. Talking about, I have a dark feeling, okay, attached to that smell. I'm very sensitive and all of this. And it's just kind of like, miss me with that foolishness, okay? You married to your step granddaddy, bitch. You mean to tell me you ain't gonna never be in a hospital? You's a pastor, even though you don't want to be called a pastor because you don't want to be perceived as an older woman, which you are. Child, I believe she bleaches her skin as well. And what is going on with that wig? Never mind. Anyway. Okay, because her attitude just annoyed me, because I don't understand how somebody can be a pastor and administer to people and you don't go to the hospital when people are sick and in need of prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a lot to me. But either way, she didn't think she was going to get invited to Meredith's party because Jen was throwing a party, but she was on the list because Meredith wanted her to be on the list. So we get to the party. Jen throws this huge party. I mean, has all the furniture in her home taken out, has all these white sheets put up everywhere. I mean, really redid her whole house for this damn party, okay? I think her husband wasn't even there, because don't nobody feel like seeing my house in disarray. I don't care how nice it is. I want all my furniture back where it was, okay? Look. But yeah, party had absolutely nothing to do with Meredith, which Meredith is aware of, okay? She just showed up in her cute little pink dress with the fluffy sleeves, and, you know, that was it. But there were Tongan dancers, which are Hawaiian dancers and performers, which makes it even more so about Jen and her own heritage. Then we see Lisa curb Heather. Okay, I was like, child. Was it Lisa or Meredith? I think it was Lisa. I can't remember, but either way, Heather is going to get tired of y'all curbing her and making her feel like, you know, she was the crazy wild one that was showing her tits to everybody. Like, she was like, I was a virgin. I ain't show my tits to nobody. Whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? It just, they have a perception of her that may not be accurate, and they don't care about, you know, finding out who the real Heather is. And Heather needs to stop being so thirsty for their attention. It's just episode 1. And I'm like, if somebody sideswiped me like that, it'd have been like, bitch, you're going to have to speak to me first before I ever speak to you again. I'll look you dead in your face and not say a word. Jen and Mary have a conversation about Mary's rude comments, okay, about Jen smelling like a hospital. And there was some back and forth about whether she was talking about Jen or whether she was talking about the room. Child, I don't even care. The point is, Jen was coming from having her aunt's legs amputated, spending time in the hospital with her family, and She comes to see you, her supposed friend, and what comes out of your mouth is, oh my God, you smell like a hospital. You're an asshole. And as somebody in your position of your age, you should have better couth about yourself. I am so tired of people thinking that just because you can say whatever, is on your mind that you should. Just because you can do something does not mean that you should do something. Okay? And you should have held your tongue at that moment or excused yourself. But don't tell everybody. And here's another thing. She didn't exactly say it all to Jen. She told that shit to Jen's best friend. So Jen's best friend, Carrie, comes over, and the way she sat down and got all close, like, yeah, why would you say that to me? It's my best friend. Of course I told her what you said. And then Mary tried to excuse her, and Carrie was like, no, I'm not going to excuse myself because you told me. You said it in front of me, so I am a part of it, wench. Mary says, okay, so you smell like a hospital. Like, what do you want me to do about that? I was just like, so you're not going to apologize for hurting this lady's feelings at all, Miss Pastor Lady? Really? You're not going to apologize for that rude ass comment? I was just like, oh, wow. Okay, Mary. Can we up the foundation number? I feel like you're about to turn into a damn ghost. Talking about, I just have a dark feeling about that smell. Oh, girl. Anyway. This show is a trip. I don't know if I'm gonna stick around for the whole show, but I know y'all wanted to hear my thoughts on it, so I decided to go ahead and give it to y'all. I'm gonna watch the next episode. If I'm feeling it, I might stick with it. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about it, and I will see y'all in the next one, okay? Mwah!